Let's go Broncos! The days are flying by, and I'm already counting down the hours until the matchup against the Bengals. I don't know about you, but I'm very optimistic. If you think the Broncos will win this matchup, hit that like button hard. If possible, write something like this: Go Broncos! Let's beat the Bengals! The Denver Broncos have received a double dose of phenomenal news at the most critical point of the NFL season, and it's safe to say that optimism is emerging in Broncos country. As the playoffs approach, the team has managed to defy the odds, boasting an injury report that is virtually unheard of for this time of year. Every eligible player practiced on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, a remarkable feat in a league where injury reports are usually filled with players out. Let's start with the headline: Riley Moss is back. This isn't just a return, it's a game-changing development. Moss, already making a name for himself as one of the league's most promising young cornerbacks, will join Patrick Surtain too in what could be one of the NFL's most formidable cornerback pairings. Together, they are poised to nullify the Bengals receiving corps led by Ja'Marr Chase and T. Higgins, a task that just a few weeks ago seemed much more daunting given the Broncos' defensive struggles. And speaking of those struggles, defensive coordinator Vance Joseph has not only identified the team's Achilles heel, but has already implemented a solution. Throughout December, opposing offenses exploited weaknesses in Denver's zone defense. The good news? That era is over. With Riley Moss back on the field, the Broncos will revert to their strength, man-to-man coverage. Joseph plans to lean on a cover zero scheme, leaving Moss and Surtain to handle their assignments one-on-one while unleashing relentless pressure on Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow. This shift is a testament to Joseph's ability to adapt and the team's determination to address their weaknesses head-on. Beyond the defensive adjustments, preparation has been a key theme. The Broncos learned a valuable lesson earlier in the season when they faced the Jets under torrential rain without adequate preparation. That won't happen again. This week, the team has been practicing with waterlogged footballs, ensuring quarterback Bo Nix and the offense are ready for any weather conditions. It's this attention to detail that has propelled the Broncos into playoff contention after a slow start to the season. On offense, the Broncos are gearing up to face a Bengals defense that has yet to prove itself against high-caliber competition. Cincinnati's wins this season have come against a lineup of backup or struggling quarterbacks, including Andy Dalton, Gardner Minshew, and Dorian Thompson-Robinson. Now, they face a red-hot Broncos offense led by Bo Nix, who has consistently performed at a top 15 level by advanced metrics. The Bengals defense will have its hands full, and this matchup could very well tilt in Denver's favor. Another factor working in the Broncos' favor is their rejuvenated pass rush. Players like Nick Benito, Drew Sanders, and Zach Allen are hitting their stride, and the unit is prepared to make life miserable for Joe Burrow. Burrow has been sacked frequently this season, a troubling statistic given the Broncos' improved ability to pressure the quarterback. Denver's defensive line is poised to dominate, with Malcolm Roach and DJ Jones anchoring the middle and ensuring that Cincinnati's offense finds no room to operate. The timing of all this couldn't be better. With the playoffs on the horizon, the Broncos are peaking at the right moment. If they beat the Bengals this week, they clinch a playoff spot, guaranteeing at least the 7th seed and keeping the possibility of securing the 5th or 6th seed alive. The stakes couldn't be higher, and the team's focus is razor-sharp. Head coach Sean Payton's strategic planning, including a short week game against the Chargers, has set the stage perfectly for this moment. As we look ahead to the playoffs, the potential scenarios are tantalizing. A win against the Bengals solidifies the Broncos' postseason berth, and depending on how other teams perform, they could climb even higher in the seeding. Whether it's a first-round matchup against the Houston Texans or a more unexpected pairing, the Broncos are prepared for whatever comes next. Now, it's your turn. Broncos fans, how do you see this playing out? Can Denver's defense shut down Joe Burrow and the Bengals' high-powered offense? Will Bo Nix continue his impressive run and lead the team to victory? Drop your predictions in the comments and let us know how far you think the Broncos can go this season. This could be the start of something truly special, and we can't wait to see what happens next. The Denver Broncos have just received a wave of incredible news ahead of their critical matchup against the Cincinnati Bengals this Saturday. In what might be the healthiest moment of the entire season, every single Broncos player was a full participant in practice this week. According to Chris Thomason of the Denver Gazette, it's unlikely that any player will carry an injury designation into the game. That's right, an entire roster ready to compete at full strength. For a team fighting to keep momentum, this is a massive boost, and fans have every reason to be optimistic. One of the most anticipated returns is cornerback Riley Moss. After missing significant time due to an MCL sprain, Moss is cleared to play and is expected to bring a new level of aggression to the Broncos defense. His ability to lock down opponents in man coverage and communicate effectively with teammates will likely enable defensive coordinator Vance Joseph to unleash more daring play calls. With Moss back, the secondary's confidence soars, and it's expected that they will challenge Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow and his talented receiving core in ways we haven't seen in recent games. The excitement doesn't stop there. Running back Tyler Batty is officially making his way back into the fold after a terrifying injury in Week 4 against the New York Jets. For those who might not recall, Batty collapsed on the sideline and had to be stretchered off, an incident that left both teammates and fans shaken. Now, just months later, he's not only recovered but poised to make an impact. Batty's speed and explosiveness have been evident since his debut in 2022, and his return comes at a perfect time as the Broncos look to spark a run game that's been searching for consistency. Pairing him with the returning Jaleel McLaughlin, who has recovered from a quad injury, could provide the team with a dynamic 1-2 punch. The combination of Batty's burst and McLaughlin's versatility has the potential to turn the Broncos' rushing attack into a serious weapon. It's worth noting that Javonte Williams' role in the offense could shift as Batty and McLaughlin integrate back into the game plan. With these two backs providing fresh legs and explosive options, Williams may take on a more specialized role, particularly in red zone and short yardage situations. This depth in the backfield is exactly what the Broncos need as they prepare to face a Bengals defense that has its own set of challenges. Speaking of the Bengals, their injury report reveals some significant issues that could work in Denver's favor. Star wide receiver T. Higgins is questionable with ankle and knee injuries. If Higgins can't play, it could drastically alter the Bengals' offensive strategy and give the Broncos an edge. In scenarios where both Higgins and Jamar Chase are active, the Broncos might look to employ a defensive strategy that places Pat Surtain 2 on Higgins, while doubling Chase with Riley Moss and a safety over the top. However, if Higgins is sidelined, Surtain will likely spend most of his time shadowing Chase. This flexibility in defensive schemes, bolstered by Moss's return, is one of the most intriguing storylines heading into the game. On the Bengals' offensive line, right tackle Amarius Mims is listed as questionable with ankle and hand injuries. The Bengals line has struggled at times this season, and if Mims can't suit up or plays at less than full strength, it could open the door for Denver's pass rush to make an impact. Backup tight end Tanner Hudson is also doubtful with a knee injury, further limiting Cincinnati's options in key offensive positions. Illness has also swept through the Bengals locker room, with multiple players, including edge rusher Joseph Ossai and safety Geno Stone, listed as questionable. The absence of key defensive players like Sheldon Rankins, who is out with an illness, and potentially others, could leave vulnerabilities for the Broncos' offense to exploit. While these developments might seem to tip the scales in Denver's favor, the Bengals remain a formidable opponent with a high-powered offense capable of scoring quickly and often. For the Broncos, maintaining focus and aggression for all 4 quarters will be essential. Complacency has no place in a game like this. With the team operating at near full health, they must capitalize on every opportunity to exploit mismatches, especially in the trenches and secondary. The return of players like Moss, Batty, and McLaughlin gives the Broncos the tools to do just that. So, Broncos country, the stage is set. We're heading into one of the most critical games of the season with our roster in the best shape it's been all year. Now it's your turn. How do you feel about the return of key players like Riley Moss and Tyler Batty? Do you think the Broncos have what it takes to overcome the Bengals and keep their momentum alive? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell to stay updated on all things Broncos. Let's ride this wave of good news into Saturday's game.